Hello students, welcome back to our channel Diksha Karnataka. So your COMEDK 2024 exam is approaching, only 3 days are left. So in this video, I'll discuss about the paper attempting strategy, right? So if you follow this strategy, I can assure you, you can increase your marks like 20 plus. So more about whatever you have prepared, the day how on that particular day, how you are performing, that is what will decide your scores, right? So there is a proper strategy of attempting the paper, which subject you should do first, which one you should second, and third, how much time you have to divide for each subject. So these all things we will be discussing. So very important video for your exam. So do watch this video till the end, and if you have any queries, you can comment. Okay, so let us start here from with the first slide here. Okay, so the first is technical preparedness. You know, this exam is your online exam, right? So you should be very familiar with your CBT mode, like what are the options for navigating in a question, what are the options to review, what buttons represent what. So these all things should be very clear. So for that, please check the mock test that is available in your COMEDK website, so that you don't waste time in the exam in understanding these things, right? So that is very important. And one more thing, when you go and sit in the exam hall, first check that your computer or your system is working properly, your roll number, your photo is there on the screen. So just check those things and then take the system. And then after that, in your home now, like between these 3 days, you must be very much concerned or very much well informed about the CBT mode of exam and its interface. Okay. Now, second one is read the instructions carefully. So once you read the instructions, what is your login ID, what is your password, then how to fill, then how to go to the exam hall. So just don't panic. So everything is important is based on your mindset on the exam day. So there should not be any confusion, any panic at that point of time. So read the instructions carefully, follow the instructions given by the invigilators, be very attentive to them. Okay, so now this is what we have to do, like basic things before the exam. Next is, okay, now we'll come to time management. This is the most important thing that I want you to suggest and to follow. So read all the question paper once to understand the level of the exam. Okay, now allocate time for each section and question type. So I have decided a particular time management technique which will be helpful mostly because based on the level of questions that is asked. So maths questions are not very not very difficult, moderate questions, but it takes a lot of time to solve them, right? So and chemistry questions include both numerical and theory based questions. Some questions can be solved in fraction of seconds, whereas some questions will be requiring some time, some calculations, right? So in chemistry, out of this 180 minutes, please start with chemistry, whether you have prepared or not prepared. Start with chemistry and solve at least all the 60 questions in 40 minutes. Okay, so whether you are able to attempt all the questions is not important, but you should be able to read all the 60 questions in this 40 minutes. Okay, so there will be a timer in your screen. So just look at this, at all the 60 questions you are reading in that 40 minutes. So this will help you to keep a check that you are not wasting more time in any one particular question. Okay, so just cover all the 60 questions in the 40 minutes. Whichever you are able to solve it, and whichever you are having doubt, please keep it for review. Okay, and then if you do not have any no knowledge about that question, then do not mark it for review also, just leave that question. Okay, so you should put review on those questions on which you have some idea and which have some lengthy calculations and on which you have doubt. Okay, if some question comes about which you don't have any idea, you don't know the ABC of that question, then just leave it. Okay, because once you put review, again you will be reviewing that question and wasting your time at the end. Okay, next is try to do all the 60 questions of physics in 50 minutes. That is also possible. Okay, so you should be able to attempt or at least go through all the 50 questions, all the 60 questions of physics in 50 minutes. Now last is your maths, where you have to give 70 minutes for 60 questions. So try attempting all the easy questions, whichever you are feeling, just attempt it. And next is your last 20 minutes left, right? In this last 20 minutes, you have to go for the questions which you have reviewed. So be very careful, don't mark all the questions for review. Okay, you have to mark only those questions for review in which either you have doubt. Okay, you know, two options you are thinking correct, some doubt is there in 2 or 3 options, or which has lengthy calculations and you have left it for later. Okay, Now do not put review for those questions about which you do not have any idea, because now when suppose you have to 15 questions you have put for review and you have only 20 minutes for them, and you might be like, you might not be knowing which question is which, like once you have put this question for review, now which question has what which number has what question, you might not be knowing. Now you will that scroll all through all these questions and it will waste a lot of time, right? So that is why just review, put review or mark review only those questions on which you have doubt. That is very important for saving time. And then you have to make strategic guesswork, and then you have to find the answer. We'll also discuss how we can make some strategic guesswork. Okay, next is question prioritization. So here you have to, like, you have allotted 40 minutes for 60 questions. Just read the question once and start with the easiest question, or you can just skip those questions which you don't know and start solving immediately the questions which you are very confident with. And next, don't get stuck on a difficult question. So if you are not getting the answers like 1 minute, 2 minutes, don't waste on it. If you're not getting, just skip it and go to the next question. If you have any idea on that question, then put it for review. And if you don't know anything about it, just leave it. Okay. Now next, just answering all questions with the given time frame. So you have planned 40 minutes for 60 questions. So be like very strict with it. Okay. Don't like 5 minutes or 2-3 minutes here and there is okay, but you have to follow it very strictly. Clear? Okay. Next point is answering strategy. Okay, so since it is a multiple choice question, before going immediately to the answer, some questions like you may be knowing the answers immediately, but do not forget to read all the options once. Okay, so the main very important thing is you have to read all the options once, because sometimes like options are there with negative sign, positive sign, some small values might have changed. Okay, and so that is why it is very important before finding the answer or selecting the answer, read all the options once. Next, if there is no negative marking, since in your COMEDK exam there is no negative marking, so try to attend maximum questions possible in the given time. Okay, so just don't skip any question. Try to attempt as many questions as possible. There is no negative marking, so it is very important that you attempt more questions. Next is strategy to guess. So here we will discuss some strategy that you can use to guess an answer. Okay, so first is you should start guessing. Okay, the last 20 minutes which is there out of, like I told you, 40 minutes for chemistry, 50 minutes for physics, and 70 minutes for maths. After that, the last 20 minutes is left, right? In that you have to go to the questions which you have put for review. So now when you start guessing, it should be in this period. Okay, do not guess it from the starting. So these are for those questions which are doubtful. Now what you have to do is, first you have to eliminate the options which are logically impossible. Like certain questions are there in which the options are there which cannot be the answer at all, right? Like for example, the options are completely irrelevant with the question. So those type of options you can first eliminate, and then you can be left with 2 or 3 options. Next, select the options with similar values. Generally, for example, some numerical question is there and the options are like 50 and 0.5 and then 1000 and then 200. Okay, now you see these two options are like similar. So the answer, the probability of these, any one from these two being the answer is more. Okay, so just try that solving whether you are getting the answers with similar values. The options with similar values has more probability of being the answer. It is not a hard and fast rule, okay, that it has to be like this, but generally it is in that case. So keep that in mind. Next is avoid using none of the above options. So if any question is having none of the above, generally these like extreme negative answers will not be given most of the time. So try avoid these options. Okay, like whenever, like for any question, if 3 options are there and 4th option is none of the above, and you don't know anything about the question and you want to make a random guess, then also avoid this option. Okay, make anything from A, B, C, do not go for this option. Okay, so this is like most of the cases we don't find this as an answer. Next, high chances of all the above or both A and B are correct. Similarly, if ABC statement is given and D statement is all of the above, okay, in that case there is a high probability that all of the above will be the answer. Okay, and similarly, like for example, 2-3 statements are given and A, B, like first option is A, okay, second option is B, and third option is both A and B. Okay, now sometimes this one is also, the probability of this one being the answer is also very high. So most of the questions that we find have either all of the above or both A and B type answers. So if you are making a random guess, so go for such type of options in all of the above and both A and B. But none of the above you have to avoid. Okay. Next is in physics, how you can make some strategic guesses. So just check dimensions in the options. Sometimes like the question has asked about energy or something, and the dimensions of the options, the units of the options, their dimensions can match, and most of the questions can be solved by dimensional analysis. And in maths, you can try hit and trial method. Like for example, some questions are there and you can just put the values, okay, put the values, substitute the values in the options, and you can check which one is satisfying the equation. Okay, so these are some like things that you can keep in mind while solving the paper. Okay, next is review and revision. So that is, there is last 20 minutes are left. So I told you not to mark every question for review. Mark only those questions for review which you have doubt in. So otherwise you will waste a lot of time in seeing and reviewing the questions which you don't have any idea about. Okay, so next is so now after the last 20 minutes, use the review feature and review the questions. Then you have to find the answers, check for errors, and make any necessary corrections. So since it is online paper, it is very easy to change the answers. So once you can complete and check all the questions once again, if you have any doubt in any question, or you have not seen the question properly, any answer you can change it, and then save the answer for all the questions. And the next is stay focused and calm. I already told you the mindset in the exam hall is very, very important than what you are attempting, how you are attempting. If you are in a positive mindset, you are confident, you are calm, you will be able to attend the paper in a very, like in a better way. At the same time, if your mind is not disturbed, you are distracted, you are not focused, then you will be ending up doing silly mistakes. You will be doing wrong in the questions which you already know. Very simple questions also will go wrong, right? So it is very important that you have to be have a positive mindset, a calm mindset throughout the exam. Okay, so now don't let anxiety or stress affect your performance. Okay, it is very important. Now if you are feeling some, like if you are getting blank in between, or if you are feeling very much anxious in between, so just take deep breath, leave the paper for 2-3 minutes, take rest, just try to calm down yourself and then start attempting the paper. Okay, yeah, so this was some of the important paper attempting strategies. So please follow them and this will definitely help you to boost your scores. So if you have found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you and all the very best for your COMEDK 2024 examination.